Hello. Hi. Welcome to Semsah Fashion. I hope you're well. Hope everything is going good for you. I'm going live as well on Facebook. So just give me a second. Hello, welcome to Semsah Fashion, and I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are all seeing this. Let me know if you've seen this on Facebook or if you've seen this on YouTube. I just want to know. I'm looking forward to everyone that I'm speaking to, and yeah, I wanted to do it in two different places because I have two different people, and everybody is either in Facebook or they're on YouTube. So we just want to make sure that we're covering all the places. My name is Susanna. I'm the founder of Semsah Fashion. And it's all about making garments that you can fix, making garments that last to ensure that they do not go into landfill. And I really hope as well that when you go here, that you learn to take something that you can pass on to the next generation. And that's really what it's all about. So today's session that we're going to share is about clothing alteration, and it's about what you can do to extend the lifeline of your clothing. And I please share in the chat. And if you're watching this on replay, say replay so that I know who's watching this afterwards. And yeah, just want to make sure that this is being viewed by as much people as possible, and that you guys are having value from it as well. So please share in the chat what it is that you want to learn to alter. Is there any garments in your wardrobe that has been there in your wardrobe because you've just left it there and haven't really been, doing anything about it? Please do share, and let me know, what tutorial you would like to do that you want me to do more of. It'd be great to know. So if it is, reducing your waistband, which is what I'm going to show right now, let me know. If it's more about, reducing your trouser length, or you have a jacket that has a hole in it, please share. Please do share, because I want to make sure that there are videos available that will help you, fix your garments and make sure that you can actually wear it in the new year. And we're getting to the new year soon. Whoop, whoop. We're going into a new year, and it's time of reflection, but it's also time of Thanksgiving as well, especially if you have gone through quite a bit, and just being grateful to be alive and to be able to see another day. And I think, in all things I give God thanks, and just being grateful the fact that I'm able to be here, you're able to be here, we're able to do stuff, and that's really important. So really share with the group, also on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you see this, what it is that you want to learn. That's one thing that you want to take with you in the new year that will actually make an impact. And yeah, share it with me, and then we can actually look at what videos we can actually produce that can help. So as I mentioned, today it's going to be about alteration. It's going to be about alterations in terms of how to alter jeans. And I've done a workshop with Shelter where I had garments come in from customers, and they brought a few garments that they wanted to alter. And a lot of them came in with, reducing the trouser length, but also reducing waist. That's quite a lot of that as well. I mean, we go through, body changes as well. But sometimes you find a really great item in a clothing charity shop, and you want to be able to, you know, you want to be able to wear it, and see how it's going to look like, but you can't because it's too big. So really try to make sure that you have skills that you can actually go into a clothing shop and be able to fix it or change it, and that's really great. So I just want to check that I'm looking at seeing any chat. Sometimes I can't see. If you can see me, just say hi, and if you can't, I'm just going to go to the live chat to just make sure that everything that I see is visible. Um, and just bear with me as well, because this is technology. So yes, see, let's have a look. Haven't seen anything. So yeah, let me just say hi. Oh, great. Thank you for making it. See your first chat. Thank you so much. So at least I know everything's working. So let's start with the how to reduce your waistband on trousers. Now, few things that I'm going to go over, which I haven't heard people say, and I have looked at videos as well from others about how to, do all clothing alterations. Just because we all learn new things, and it's good to learn new things and see different things, what other people are making, and sometimes you can get different ideas as well how to do the clothing alteration. But what I haven't heard is, when it comes to denim jeans as well have like top stitching, and the top stitching are very thick thread, and sometimes the top stitching that they use isn't really predominantly found in like your haberdashery stores. So, and also like there's a type of machine, like they use an industrial machine to do the top stitching, and if you look at the back, it's a chain stitch. So I'm just gonna view here and view there so you can see there's a chain stitch. So just look at your denim, and then you can see it's not your standard normal stitch, but it's a chain stitch at the back. And it's a different type of machine that they use. So it's really important to, when you are doing clothing alterations, to understand your expectations. And, if you're expecting something to be exactly the same, then you need to use the same type of machine. But if you don't have that type of machine, then you need to use something that's close enough. So if you have like a standard sewing machine, which most people have, then you need to be able to match the type of stitching. So you have to be sure that your stitching will be almost the same, and blend as well, the color thread almost the same. So, as best you can, but you will know for yourself as well, because you looked at the type of stitch that we use, that it's not going to be exactly the same. And you just need to manage your expectation. If doing clothing alteration is a business for you, then you need to be able to communicate to customers as well that the type of machinery that's been used, we don't have that type of machinery, but we can do this as close as possible. And what we are going to do is make this in a way that is going to be as visible as possible. Just manage customer expectations. Okay. So what we're all going to do as well, what I said, this one is done a chain stitch. So we are going to put elastic in it, and it has a waistband. And this you can do without having a sewing machine. And what we're going to do is decide, so you have to measure how much you need to reduce by. So I've done this before with others, and some people might already know this, but I'm going to go through it again because this alteration has been asked so often. And it's really good tip to know how to do it yourself, so it can save you quite a lot of money. So yeah, it's very important to know, like, if you're going to reduce your waistband, reduce it by 2 cm. Then when you measure this, let's say this is 37 cm flat. So I measure from point to point, 37 cm flat, point to point. And, reduce that by 2 cm flat. That means it's 35 cm. That's like 70 cm around your waist. So know your waist measurement of what it needs to be, and measure also what a garment is, and then subtract that. And that's the amount you need to reduce by. So have that in mind first. Then look at the garment as well and see, what kind of alteration can you do. You can actually change this, because I have done it by one jeans before, and this jeans was too big for me. This one here, I love him. Too big for me. But instead of doing elastic, I wanted to have like a clean finish. So what I've done, I added dots. So I added dots to the jeans. And that was no dots before, but I added dots to the jeans. So that's also another way to do clothing alteration. As you can see, that you can't see it that great, but this is why I chose to do dots on this particular style, because the stitching on here on this jeans is not done on a chain stitch. So it's just done on it's done on industrial sewing machine, but the inside is like on the regular stitch, so a back stitch, and that was easy to blend. So it looks like it's already done everything. Hi, everyone who's already in the chat here, and anyone who's on Facebook Live as well. So that's why I chose to do a dot on this particular style, because I can get away with it. But what does it require? It does require for you to remove the waistband, so you can remove the stitches on this part, so in between the belt loops. What you don't want to do is remove your belt loops. It's just too much work. I've done that. Like, let's keep it simple. So, just go in between your center back seam, which is your seam that's on the back. So it's your center back seam and your side seam. So you go in between there and you unpick. So it becomes an opening. And then you take out the amount that is needed. So if it's like 2 cm, you take off 1 cm here and 1 cm there because it's 2 dots that you have to make. And then you make it into a dot, which I'm going to show you inside. So this is how a dot looks. And you see how much I had to take? I had to take quite a lot. So it was more than 2 cm. I think maybe it was like 6 or something. It was quite a big one that I took out. I think it must have been like 6, 6 cm. So that might have been 2 sizes that I had to go down just to be able to wear these jeans, which I'm very happy with because I actually wear it all the time. So I've taken quite a bit out of the fabric, which is a dot, to make this. And that's how it looks like on the inside. Yeah. And this is a bit more advanced. So if you never done a dot before and you just learning how to sew, I want to go this route. I will go the route that I'm going to show you right now because that's much easier to do. And that only works with things that has a waistband. If it doesn't have a waistband, then you have to go this route and do a dot. I hope everybody knows what a dot is. If you don't know what a dot is, please say it in the chat. But a dot is a fabric suppression. So you create a fabric suppression, and you see it a lot on bodies as well, where they take a bit of fabric just to accentuate the area. So if you have a waist, it accentuates your waist. If you have a bust, it accentuates your bust. So it doesn't look square, it's fitted. Okay, so that's what a dot is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have elastic. So I know the elastic as well. This is the type of elastic that I use. And the depth of the elastic is almost the same depth as my waistband, but a little bit less. So you need to make sure that it's not too small and not too deep. So it can actually go through the channel. And you will feed it through in order to get your desired measurement. So what I will actually suggest is to have an elastic cut to your size or even left it out a little bit more. And what I'm going to take is a safety pin. And this safety pin, you have to have safety pins in your house because without a safety pin, yeah, I use a safety pin for almost everything. Okay, so it's great. So safety pin in here. And then when you go through, make sure you make a hole in under the waistband. You don't need to unravel everything as you had to do with the other example. But what you will have to do is make a hole just on one side of the waistband. Yeah. And on the other side, it does unravel a little bit, but it remains the same. Okay. And the tip is avoid belt loops area. Don't unpick the belt loops. It's a lot of work. You can do it, but it's a lot of work. I'm just trying to save you time. So yeah, just do a hole on one area on the side and another hole on another area because when you're gonna go through, it's gonna go through a channel. So you have 2 holes like this. Yeah. And that's on the back. Yeah, so your back. Side seam to side seam. So this is a side seam. Okay. That's a side seam. Okay. And you have your elastic safety pin. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through it with your safety pin and you're going to feed it through your waistband and you're going to pull it through. That's the idea. Yeah. Sometimes I do this and I'll, in between the safety pin comes undone, which is not great. But yeah, try to be as careful as possible. It can be a bit fiddly. Yeah, especially when it's a thick fabric. Just gonna go through it again because it has actually come undone, which I knew it would. So let's go that through again. Make sure it's flat and not twisted. Okay. And it's quite nice to do this, while you're watching TV or you listen to a podcast, you know, playing some songs in the background as well. Just let me know what you guys are planning to do on your rest of your Sunday. And where you actually, watching this from. Are you watching it from US, or you're watching it from one of the African continents? Because I know the group in Facebook is very diverse. It's quite a lot of people from different places. And therefore you have like different resources available as well. So yeah, it'd be great to know where everybody is watching live from. Planning to meet up with some friends later and here in London. Yeah, they're great. Great. Absolutely great. Yeah. So I'm feeding this shoe, and as you see, it's quite tricky because it's very thick fabric. It's not as easy as the other one, which makes it much easier to do the dots. And Christina's in the building. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is going to take a bit of time. I'm nearly there. I'm halfway. Feeding it through. Yeah, it's a thick one. I can barely type. How long will my nail? Yeah, I know. If you have long nails, it's tricky. Even sewing with long nails. I try to keep my nails like short. And I have seen people do things with long nails. I don't know how to do it. Like, I think it's so tricky even to type with long nails. But I have seen people do it. I think it's just a skill. I think when you're used to it, then yeah, you're able to. So as you can see, it's coming through, but it had to go through a lot of fabric. And pulling through. It has not been easy, but I don't give up. And even have to, you can go through with your hands and just pull through some of it as well. Which I might have to do. Yeah. And sometimes if it is getting quite tricky, which is on this occasion, I have to use like a a pen to pull it through. Because sometimes we have like fabrics as well around. Then the fabric doesn't make it easy to pull it through as well. Which I think it is on this one. Let me just see. Yeah, I can see it, but it's not. Let me just go through it again. Yeah, it came undone, which is not great. And do another one. I'm going to use a thicker, much bigger safety pin so that I can actually go through a bit more easier. Because the one I did was a bit medium, so I choose a bigger one. And I'm just going to fold it as well and go through it again. These things happen. Just get through it. But it's still easier doing the dots, because the dots you have to do a lot of unpicking. And when time is precious and you just don't have time, then it's just easier to do something that doesn't require too much unpicking. Sometimes it's good to unpick while you're doing something else. It can be quite soothing. But yeah, I just try not to unpick work if I don't need to. And also, it'd be great to know, like, if anyone has like any season plans that they plan to do. You know, I'm going to go to Holland. I'm gonna see my family in this season, which I'm actually looking forward to next week. So you won't be hearing much from Semsah. But yeah, just share with me what your plans are and what you like to do for videos wise, and I'll prepare it. So this has gone through a bit easier because I changed it to be a bigger safety pin. And now you can see that it's a little bit gathered. And so I can gather it to make it smaller to the size I want it to become. You know, it's become a little smaller. And you put it through to both sides. So this is how you make it smaller. And I still feel like it looks good, especially if it's like a casual trouser. But if it's like a smart trouser or like a tailored trouser, then you would use obviously the dot technique. But if it's like casual, you can actually get away with this because when you put it on, it will become flat. So, and I only need to reduce by 2 cm. So what I'll do is I'll pull it to the desired width. So if I'm pulling it right now and it's actually desired width, then that's how I know that I'm going to cut it off. And then what I will do is I will sew. So I will sew the elastic to the seam so it stays in place. So when I cut it off, it won't be moved. So I'll just do it by hand, just in case you don't have a sewing machine. Just to sewing needle. I did the same color as the trouser, so it blends. I'm just going to make a knot. Okay. And then what you have to do, as you can see that, and if you pull it out, actually it's much better if there is a seam nearest to it that you sew it to the seam, but I prefer to sew it in the waist seam. So when it goes back on itself, which I will show you. So I'm just going to pull it all the way side, so it's all the way towards the end of the elastic. And then it's easier to show. Okay. So you have the seam allowance, which we call seam allowance. Anyone who's been sewing would know seam allowance. And then you just lost my side, which is not great. Let me just get it back. Okay, let me just show you just that one side. So here, and what we're going to do is the seam. We're going to sew that on each other. So I hope you can see it here. Yeah. Gonna put that in place. And then what we do is a back stitch. If you don't know what a back stitch is, it's on my YouTube channel. How to do a back stitch. What needle do you use to sew denim? You have to use a thicker needle. There are specific denim needles as well that you can use. So, but yeah, there are specific needles. But right now I'm using a hand sewing needle that I can use on various fabrics. For sewing, you can use an all-purpose needle on the sewing machine, but there are specific denim sewing needles for sewing machines because the fabric is thicker. So a thicker needle will be best to do. And then what will happen is that you pull it all through. You pull it all through and it becomes your size. And then you cut off this part and then you sew back the hole. So you close the hole by sewing it. And that's why it's so important to do it, a little bit so that you can actually try to match the seam on here. Okay. So that's how you actually reduce your waste. And don't worry if, as what happened before as well, it comes undone or wherever. You can always pull it through again, but at least it's an easier thing to fix rather than doing the dots, which you can do, but it will take more time. And if time is something that you don't really have much of because you're doing so many other things, which we all kind of do, then this is an easier one to do, and it's quick. You're able to get it fixed within less than a half an hour, and it's done. You've been listening to a podcast or watching a program, and that's it. And then you can go away and wear the garment again. So I hope it's been useful for you guys. I do have more details video which I will be releasing, and any more videos that I'll be releasing in terms of clothing alteration, because I really want to make sure that we go into the new year fully equipped with skills that we can actually use to save us time, money, which especially with the cost of living that's gone so high. What can we have that we can actually save in terms of shopping, buying new clothes? We don't really need more new clothes. We need better clothes are better quality that will last longer. So we don't need to buy and shop more. And I think, that is really important. So please put in the chat what it is that you want, to learn, and anything else that you want to gain from it. Whether or not it's how to do zips or how to reduce your trouser lengths, increase garments, please let us know so we can create videos that's more tailored for you and it can help you in the new year as well. And yeah, stay tuned as well in terms of events, because we're going to be having events in terms of sewing in London, specifically in North London. So looking forward to you all and seeing you at workshops where we can actually be hands-on and showing you these techniques. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, great holiday season, and a blessed new year in advance. And speak to you soon. Bye bye.